Good morning or afternoon or evening. Just depends on what time you are watching this video, but half a day. So I wanted to make this video as part of my, I guess, the series that I did. It was titled The More You Know, and I guess this would be the third episode. And really, The More You Know series is just to explain, for those of you guys that, you know, are looking into getting into doing gig work, or that you just started and you're looking for more information about really what does it entail to be a gig driver. You know, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, Walmart Spark, you know, or the catering apps out there like Zifty and Deliver That, and so much more. There are so many different type of gig apps out there. But specifically for this video, I wanted to touch up on, you know, one of the other areas that from the gig videos that I've watched, and you know, for those that I follow and even those that come across my feed, talking about, you know, how much money you make and the hours even you may put in, and even the areas that they work. But there's not really that many out there that discuss the other aspects of being a gig driver. And so that's what I wanted to use this one for. So I hope that you will join me for this, somewhat of a ride along, and hear what I have to say about this topic. All right, real quick, don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and then don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when I upload videos like this, or even when I go live. All right, let's get back to that video. As I previously mentioned in the opening of the video, that there are many aspects to being a gig driver. You know, it's not just about that money. It's not just about the freedom or the hours that you put into it. But what I'm going to talk about in this video is the miles. The miles that you put, you know, on your vehicle. And really it's a combination of the wear and tear you put on your vehicle and on yourself. And, you know, if you are a fellow, you know, gig driver, whether you've been doing it for just a couple of days or for a few years, I'd love to hear your feedback and your take on reference to the miles you drive, whether it be per shift, per day, for the week, for the month. I'd love to hear your feedback. But this right here, like I said, what I'm about to share is just based off of my experience, my husband, because majority of the time we are doing the gig work together. So it's just our personal experience. But miles, they definitely can add up. You know, if we're lucky enough to work in the town where we live, you know, or even really, even if we have to drive that 35 to 45 minutes to a different zone because we know we can make more money, you know, sometimes it really doesn't matter. Because, you know, when we're working here in where we live in our hometown, we can still average, you know, on a shift. We can still average, depending on the hours that we work, also anywhere from 50 to over 100 miles in a shift, or I guess you can say for the day. And then of course, on the days where we are actually traveling different zone, at the minimum, we are traveling over 30 miles. So if you think about that, because there are many times we work at minimum 5 days a week. So those miles definitely add up when you're talking about, and that's just one way, you know, over 30 miles to drive to that zone, and then driving back. So really it's closer to about 70 miles, and that's just driving to and from, not just, you know, including the miles for the gig work itself. And I'm about to share some of that information in reference to, you know, miles we've driven, hours we've worked, and even how much we've made. Okay, so now that I'm not driving and I can actually look at my notes of, you know, some of that information that I wanted to share with you guys. Again, whether you are a new gig driver, or, you know, someone that's actually looking to just start it altogether. This is some information that I think might be helpful to you on making, you know, your decision, and also on what to expect in this line of work. But this is information that that has happened basically just in the last couple of months. For the month of September, you know, as one example, we ended up working almost 9 hours on that day, and we made almost $170, but we drove for that day, you know, 180 miles. And yeah, that included us driving to a different zone. And that's why I was talking about, at least just in our case. But yet, 2 days later, we still worked about the same amount of time with working at least 8 hours. And we made over $300. But the miles that was driven, so remember on the 20th, we drove 180 miles but made, you know, less than $200. 2 days later, we made over $300, but we drove under 140 miles on that day. And then the following month, for the month of October, you know, at the beginning of the month, we did about a 7-hour shift, just over $200. And the miles for that day was about 147. Moving towards the end of the month, on the 26th of October, we worked an 8-hour shift that day, and we made a little bit more. We did about 217 on that day, but we only drove 109. So again, you know, when your miles, they definitely add up. You know, they are gonna put, you know, again, whether, you know, it makes a difference if you're doing this part-time or full-time. You are putting a lot of wear and tear on your vehicles when it comes to miles. I mean, for the month of October, and even for this month, and we're not even done. You know, my husband and I, we're full-time. So we work anywhere from 4 to 7 days a week. You know, and our average time for working is anywhere from 4 hours in the day to, you know, at about 8 hours or so. I think the longest we've done was probably 10 hours, but that was last year. On average for this year, we do probably closer to between 7 and 8 hours is what we work in a day. But the miles add up. Basically, for the last 2 months, you know, for the month of October and for this month, and we're not even done. We're averaging about 2,000 miles that we're putting on our vehicles. You know, so that's an expense, really. So that's something you got to think about, that, you know, I'm not an accountant, you know, but this is just based off of working with my accountant for at least the last 3 years. When it comes to mileage, is that it's kind of like that double-edged You know, the more miles you're putting on your vehicle, that means it's going to be expensive, because that's more wear and tear you're putting on your vehicle. You know, the more miles you're driving, that means that's just more often you're going to have to be doing the oil change and any other type of maintenance you're going to do on your vehicle because of the excessive miles. But at the same time, you know, again, this is, you know, I'm not a certified accountant or anything like that. This is just based off of me working with my own accountant and what counts in reference to you are getting paid a certain amount per mile. So that kind of helps to when it comes to, what do they call it? To offset, basically. And I'm sure I'll probably post it up right here, but again, this changes. But again, you know, miles, you know, that they definitely can add up. And that also ties in that if you are averaging, like us, about 2,000 miles, you know, per month, you know, that means that's also a lot of time you're spending in your vehicle. So that's also a lot of miles you're putting on yourself, because, you know, you're getting in and out of the vehicle, you know, you're loading and unloading groceries, the lifting of any heavy items, you know, like the cases of water, which so many people, not just my husband and myself, you know, we put a limit on how many cases of water we're going to shop for, or even just do as a curbside pickup. Because just like the miles is a wear and tear on your vehicle, you know, it's also a wear and tear on yourself. So that is something else you really have to consider and to know about on the type of issues your body is going to face. You're going to feel from, you know, getting in, as all the things I just mentioned. Because I know for sure, I mean, it was an issue even before I started this line of work, but I knew that that was going to be something that I was going to have to face, that it could add to my issues, because I have arthritis in my knees. So there are some days where when we really work those long hours, and if we were really busy on that day, that my knees will feel it by the end of the day. And when you live in a home to where a 2 stories, or even if you are in an apartment and you're having to, at the end of the day, climb stairs, it's no fun. But again, you know, like I said, I wanted to make this video as part of my The More You Know series. So this is episode 3. And I hope this helps. You know, I hope you guys found, you know, some information, some insight about when it comes to miles and the wear and tear, you know, you put on your vehicle and on yourself. And like I said at the start of the video, for, you know, any new drivers out there, or even seasoned drivers out there, if there's any comments, any feedback to add to what I've already discussed in this video, I hope that you'll leave a comment and let me know, because I appreciate any feedback, any comments that you guys do whenever I post a video. Thanks again for joining me on this short ride along. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate that support. But until next time, you guys stay safe no matter what you guys are doing out there. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Adios for now.